Alright, y'all, it's 8:30, top of the morning. If you watched the vlogs by now, you already know I'm not a morning person. So here's a little segment of music, and just watch. Bright and early in the morning, can you believe it?
It's the only way to do it, man.
No, sir. This is top worst.
Top worst.
Excited for what God is doing.
Alright, so this week I'm doing something a little bold, a little risky. Wanted to show y'all. So I'm running my sounds and I'm running Ableton from the same computer. So one session is every song that we're doing for that service, and then the other session is running my sounds. The way that I'm routing it is pretty creative, I have to say so myself. I'm going from my computer, external headphone, into the Key Largo down there, and then just in case if something crashes and my computer shuts down, I'm running from the actual piano itself into the Key Largo. So I'm not playing any piano sounds, like the volume is down all the way, have nothing coming out of there. Everything's coming out of Ableton, but in case it crashes and all goes down, I can just turn it up and we can kind of keep going. And then from here, where I'm running tracks, I'm going to the Apollo down here, and then we have 4 outs going out of that straight into the sound and stuff like that. So that's how we're doing it. It's my first time doing it. I was really scared about it, but I didn't want to play this piano because it has different sounds that we were going for certain sounds or songs. So it's worked really great. So yeah. Dan, can you do a rundown of your setup?
Sure.
Pasty artist, so Pasty. Oh, I'm Greek, so
I am pasty though. My skin tone. That's fair.
So what are you rocking this week?
So this is the house kit. They have a Gretsch Catalina Maple. So with the 8-inch edition, I'm not used to playing 8-inch toms, so I may be overusing it, but that's okay. And then I think it's a Tama Imperial Star snare. So we put new skins on it. Got the Evans HD Dry G2s.
New skins on the toms as well.
Yeah, toms and snare. So I brought all my cymbals except for this splash they had in-house as a Pasty splash. It's not one I would necessarily bring. It's a little bit heavier, but it's actually sounding great. So
I call it the youth camps.
Modern Essentials hats, 14-inch, PSTX splash stack, and
oh yeah, 2.
Yeah, I got 2 stacks. And then I'm actually playing the 602 Thin Crash. It's just kind of like a generic middle-of-the-road crash that just sounds really good. And then the 21-inch Dark Energy Mark I ride, which is my favorite ride. And then my favorite crash probably is the 22-inch Masters Thin, because it can do everything. So yeah, it's a good setup. And then for production people, I've got Sony A7C with a 16mm, which I'm charging right now on a little Edelkrone slider action. And then my vlogging camera is Sony A7 IV with a G Master 16-35, and I've been doing that as like a Reels cam, getting like this perspective. And then I've got a GoPro Hero 9 for my overhead shot. So that's kind of my setup for this week.
There's the goodies.
Yeah, it's kind of all blown up right now, but extra chargers and everything. So.
Okay, so here's a question for drummers. We do a lot of diverse music. Like, in one set we'll have a bunch of CCM songs and a bunch of gospel songs and contemporary gospel. How do you, as a drummer with tones and cymbals and stuff, like, what's the best advice that you have for drummers that have to play different styles of music in one set?
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, it's just you got a continuum of, for like cymbals and stuff, it's a trade-off of, you know, wash to articulation, right? So that's why I've got the 22-inch thin. You know, it's tons of wash. It creates a bed kind of underneath everything. But then the 18 is kind of in the middle. It's not really, you know, it's not super bright, but it's also not super dark. So some people will be like, oh, well, you know, I want something that's like has a ton of character and really unique. Well, I don't. I want the 18 to be able to play a lot of different stuff. So this is just a go-to gospel. It'll cut through. CCM, it's still got enough body where it's not just going to punch out, right? So that's why for me, and then obviously these are kind of flavor. This is like more my personal style, right? I just really like the stacks. And same thing with the 14s. These are not super bright. They're kind of in mid-range. So on some things like main crash and hats, I want to go more mid-range, and then I can, you know, accent that with like a really, really dry ride, right? I'm not going to crash on this ride. It's got a really strong bell and a, you know, great stick definition. So it's really about balance. But I always tell people, like, find stuff that sometimes we think like generic is bad, but a lot of ways, you know, when you're playing a multitude of different styles, generic can be good. Because, like, again, this crash, like, no one's gonna get excited about this crash if I just say, oh yeah, I got a Formula 602 thin crash. They want like something really unique. But generic, this is session all day. So that's just something to think about when you're picking sounds.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Rehearsal time. Locking in with the fellas. We're working on some patterns right now. Just getting locked in. Alright, so we just finished rehearsal. Gonna go. I crushed like six airheads, and now I'm looking terrible. Anyways, gonna go home to the hotel room, rest, come back, and get the last service, and then all of us fly out at 6 a.m. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a long night, but the Lord is kind. God bless you. Here, getting ready for the last service. Friday night. This is the last event out of town for us out the year.
Yep.
But don't worry, next year's gonna be even crazier.
Next year's gonna be
This is
crazy.
gonna be a monthly thing.
In Jesus' name. Obasha.
That's a wrap for Carolina Youth Conference. Last out-of-town event of the year. You know what, Caitlin? You know what?
I never make the vlog.
You know what? You know what, Caitlin? That's Travis's wife. Shout out Caitlin Dykes. Alright, we made that happen. So, last event of the year, we're out of here. And with that, 2022, successful year. Love my family. Love all of y'all. Thank you guys for all the support and for watching and all of that. And with that, Happy New Year to everybody. We're out of here.